How did sperm whales survive whalers? These creatures have the biggest brain in the entire animal kingdom. Back in the 18th century, we slaughtered them relentlessly, but they fought back and learned how to evade the whalers. They were hunted for their oil, the spermaceti inside their melon heads. This oil was used for precision mechanics. A substitute was created in the last century from the seeds of a bush in the Mexican desert, jojoba. Many countries began to harvest this plant on an industrial scale. The sperm whale had only one natural predator, the orca. They also have a very large brain and complex social life. Sperm whales evolved an effective strategy to fend off the orcas. They surface and form a tight circle around their young. Then, they point their large and powerful tails outwards, ready to thrash their assailants. This formation is known as marguerite. If you see from above or below, the pod looks like a floating flower, something like this. Unfortunately, when human whalers arrive on the scene, the sperm whales use the same strategy, and they became easier to catch with the harpoon. So they developed new tactics and new behavior. They learned how to avoid the whalers. So, how did they do that? Culture. They learn new skills and pass them along the next generation. The results? A stable conservation that is further maintained and transmitted from one generation to another through social learning. Sperm whales started to communicate to other members of their family about the danger when whalers were approaching. They escaped upwind so the sailboats couldn't follow. This new behavior spread from pod to pod. Researchers think whale groups who had never experienced an encounter with a whaler learned the evasive behavior from the veterans. It's like when our parents told us what to do in case some stranger wanted to kidnap us when we were kids, remember? In my case, my mom taught me to drop my weight down and forward to make myself more difficult to lift. Also scream non-stop to get attention, and that way the kidnapper would leave. This is an extraordinary case of rapid cultural evolution. The whales were saving themselves until humans invented more efficient ways to kill. By the end of the 1800s, industrial whaling fleets took to the seas using steamships and grenades at the tip of the harpoons. The whales couldn't survive the relentless onslaught. Nearly 3 million whales of all species were killed in the 20th century, with several populations reduced to 5% of their historical size, or less. Most commercial whaling stopped in the 1980s, but countries like Japan, Norway, and Iceland still continue to hunt whales today. Marine mammals are often used as a scapegoat for declining fisheries, and as such, cetaceans have often been culled for this reason. They were bombed, machine-gunned, and culled with guns across the globe. Now, though, whales face human threats including noise and marine pollution, climate change, unregulated tourism, ship strikes, marine debris, and entanglements with fishing nets and internet wires at the bottom of the ocean, significant loss of habitat and food, high levels of mercury and other chemicals like PCBs and DDTs. We are attacking them in all flanks. Can whales learn to navigate these many dangers too? This time there will be no escape.